Recording in progress.
Check.
wabarakatuh.
Good morning from Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last day of
International Summer Course 2022.
This event is presented by University of Muhammadiyah Professor Dr. Hamka and University of Muhammadiyah Tangerang. First of all, let us pray and praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Because of His blessing and mercy, we can attend in this occasion without any obstacle here.
Praise and salutations upon him, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best figure on this universe, who have brought us to the path of light and left the darkness in this life.
Before we come to the main session, let us start this by praying first, so the event that we will hold on this day will run well without any obstacle at all. Pray based on individual belief. Begin. Done.
The Honorable Professor Dr. Haj Gunawan Surya Putro M.Hum, as Rector of University of Muhammadiyah Professor Dr. Hamka.
The Honorable Dr. Haj Ahmad Amarullah MPD as Rector of University of Muhammadiyah Tangerang.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this nice occasion, let me deliver the structure of the events today. As follow: opening.
The lecture, which will be delivered by Dr. Hilal Tegnan and Professor Ram Al-Jafri bin Sa'ad.
Nomination Awards of International Summer Course 2022.
And the last is closing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's open this event by saying Basmalah.
Before we go to the next agenda, here are some reminders for all the participants. Don't forget to fill out the attendance list through Learning Management System or LMS for each sessions by following the instruction that has been shared in WhatsApp group.
Now we come to the main agenda, that is the first lecture by Dr. Hilal Tegnan, with the topic is Green Industry. This topic will be guided by a moderator, Mr. Abdul Almanar MPD. To Mr. Abdul Almanar, the time and place are yours.
This. Okay, before I start the agenda, I would like to test my mic. Is my voice clear enough for you to listen? Is it clear?
Is it clear, sir?
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Before I would like to say thank you for the master of the ceremony for giving me the time to be the moderator for today's agenda. So before we invite our speaker, I would like to read some of the biography from from the speaker. Dr. Hilaire Tegnans. Dr. Hilaire Tegnans holds a PhD in law from both the Law School of Utrecht University, the Netherlands, and Andalas University in Padang, Indonesia. Besides holding a doctoral degree, a bachelor and master degree in criminology from Sorbonne University, Paris, France, Dr. Tegnan holds a LLM in American Law and Legal System from William and Mary Law School, Williamsburg, Virginia, USA. He is currently a fellow researcher at Center for Legal and Court Technology at William and Mary Law School. He is also a lecturer of Constitutional Law and Faculty of Law Andalas, University Padang, Indonesia. His research involves the implementation of the rule of law in post-colonial developing nations, a study of legal pluralism in Indonesia, and focuses on how state law, Islamic law, customary law can be fused so as to build a more harmonious legal system in developing countries, especially in Indonesia. So Dr. Tegnan has also published several articles in international well-known peer review journals. So this is actually the conference and seminars that Mr. Tegnan has done. So he also has ever been a keynote speaker and also paper presenters and other. I think we have a very respected seminar for today's sessions for summer course. So before any further, I would like to invite Mr. Tegnans. So Mr. Tegnan, are you here?
I'm right here with you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so he's happy to have you here for our international seminar.
That's right.
Okay. Mr. Tegnan, let me introduce you my name. I'm a moderator for our today's seminar. My name is Muhammad Abdu.
Right.
It is very nice to meet you, Mr. Tegnan, and I know that you are a husband of my friends Rama.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Mr. Tegnan.
Can you see me?
So your camera is still off.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know what to do. Is it working now? No?
No.
Okay, what I'm going to do is to log out and then log back in.
Okay.
I did that the other day. It worked perfect. So let me try that again. Let's see if it can work.
Okay, so
I'll log out just for a couple of minutes and then come back, back on.
Okay, before we get back, Mr. Tegnan, into our seminar, so for your information, our seminar topic is about green accounting implementation to empower Asean economic growth. So this is our big topic, and Mr. Tegnan will share some of his article and also some of his material related to the topic that we are having right now about the economic growth, especially in 2022, because we know that in 2022, after the hit of pandemic, so we are still struggling with the economic and also with the economy, and then so maybe Mr. Tegnan will share some of his presenter and perspective about the economic growth, especially in Indonesia in 2022.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Tegnan.
Can you see me now? Still?
No, your camera is still off.
I have no idea. It works the other day. Today, I guess today is not my lucky day. Should be working probably, should be working by now. I don't know why it's not.
Do you use like webcam, or is a camera included in your laptop?
Yeah, I got a it's included in the laptop. So uh, what is going on? Because you guys gotta see who you're talking to, right?
Yeah, but your voice is sounding clear.
The voice is clear. Okay, that one, that should be all right. But you guys should be able to see me because I can see you. Yeah. What is what is?
Maybe you can click the video setting and then select the camera.
Yeah. Maybe I need to go back to the setting.
Setting from the
I had
setting.
a yeah. Video setting. Yeah. So
Can you do it? So
yeah, I'm in the setting.
okay, and then select a camera from your laptop.
Yeah, I can see that it's still dark.
Oh yeah,
It is dark. I can see original ratio, mirror. Well, original ratio?
yeah, original.
Yeah, I click on original ratio.
Still
It's not doing the work. Oh man.
okay.
I think I can do it, but I need to share my screen. I can do it from my phone.
Okay, yeah, that would be lovely if you.
But then the material
use
is
two
on the laptop.
devices. Yeah, that's right.
The material is on the laptop, but use a video for my phone.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
Could be a good idea.
so you can if it comes back on, I'll probably shift, go back. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know.
Okay. So we still wait for you, Mr. Tegnans. Okay, we still wait for Mr. Tegnan to log in with a different device. Yeah. So Mr. Tegnan will use two devices, one for the material and the other one for the camera. Okay, for all the participants, before we start having our keynote speaker to join again our seminar, so I would like to ask you to fill in the attendance from the LMS. So there is a pre-task actually that you need to fill in from the learning management system from our campus. So you may go to the LMS and then fill in and do the pre-task. So while waiting for Mr. Tegnan to be back in our seminar.
So can you see me?
No, it's still not. Do you use different device?
No, no.
No, no. The camera is still off.
Okay.
And
I'll change the computer. I use a different computer.
you use different computer?
Yeah, I'll take a different computer.
Yeah, but
It'll take me 5 minutes.
okay, still waiting.
Maximum.
The participant are still doing the pretest, so you could take your time for 5 minutes. So
Okay, I know. It'll take 5 minutes. Thank you.
okay, you're welcome, sir. So for the others, for the participants, you may use the backgrounds of your profiles from the picture that we have that had been uploaded from the chat, and then you may put the camera on so we can see your activeness during the seminar, by the way. Okay, while waiting, I remind you again for those of you who still not do the pretest, so you may go to LMS and then do the pretest before we start our seminar while waiting for Mr. Tegnan. Okay, Mr. Tegnan, can I reach you? Mr. Tegnan? Mr. Tegnan? Okay, before we reach Mr. Tegnan back in the seminar, so I would like to read some of his background, his academic background. So he has got his doctoral degree in law from the Utrecht University in 2016, and also he is also a guest researcher at the Faculty of Economic Law and Governance at the Utrecht University in Netherlands. And he also awarded a certificate in conflict resolution from GIZ Institute Germany from April to June 2012. He also awarded a certificate in peace building and reconciliation from Eastern Mennonite University, Virginia in USA in 2009 to 2010. He got also his dual master degree in criminology from University of Paris in Aberdeen, 2007 to 2009, and he's also done his bachelor degree in criminology from University of Paris, the same university in Aberdeen, 2003-2007. So his complete name is Tegnan Gobo Genantin Hilaire. So he was born in Ivory Coast. He is about 40 years old. And his current occupation is a researcher at CLCT William and Mary Law School, VA, USA. So we still wait for Mr. Tegnan. If Mr. Tegnan can open his camera, and we will still continue the seminar, by the way, with the camera off. So maybe the committee can text Mr. Tegnan's that he can join the seminar without the camera from the committee, so we can continue the talk, continue the seminar. So for those of the participants who just joined the seminar, so I would like you to do the pretest from the LMS before you join and do participate in the seminar. So I would like to ask you to do the pretest from the LMS provided from the campus. Okay, Mr. Tegnan, are you there? Mr. Tegnan? Sorry, Mr. Tegnan, your mic is still off. I can't hear your voice. We can hear your voice, Mr. Tegnan. Okay, so Mr. Tegnan, can you hear?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay.
You can see me, right?
Yeah, but that is okay, Mr. Tegnan. Yeah, we can still continue the seminar without seeing you in from the monitor, but we can hear your voice very clear.
Okay.
Okay. So, Mr. Tegnan, without any further, I would like to give you the time and then the opportunity to present your presentations from the material. So please, you may do your presentation, Mr. Tegnan. So for all the participants, you may put the camera on so we can see your activeness during the seminar. So, Mr. Tegnan, the time is
yes. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Tegnan, you may start your presentations.
I'm trying to share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. So we can see it.
All right. First, I would like to apologize for the technical issue that I'm facing here. You guys shouldn't be, subject to this, crucial treatment. Technology these days, we can't rely 100%. So without further ado, I think I will proceed to what I have to share today with you. I would like to thank everybody for taking the time to be here today. I also want to thank the University of Muhammadiyah Tangerang for giving me this opportunity to share what I know, what I experienced. 10 years living in Indonesia and also here in America. Just share. I'm very sure this is an issue related to economics. But also there's a legal aspect to it because, like we used to say in the legal field, without a strong legal system, the economy cannot flourish. So this is a reality. If you are going to build a strong economic, you need to build a strong legal system. So today, my topic, or what I would like to share today with you, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is it's an economic situation dealing with mining. Mining today, because mining, why mining? Because mining has to do with the environment. Since we're talking about green economic, so I think it's also important to share some of the knowledge that I have in this specific field. So you cannot talk about environment in Indonesia today without talking about mining. This is the reason why the title of my presentation today is Can you still see my screen?
No, Mr. Tegnan, the screen just end. Okay, so I think you made a slideshow with pressing F5.
Ask them to copy this link.
No, I go to new link. Okay, wow, okay.
Or maybe I can help you with do the screen sharing. So you can send me the PowerPoint and then I can do the screen sharing. Okay, it's okay. It's slideshows. Okay, it's very clear now, Mr. Tegnan. Mr. Tegnan, are you there? Hello? Sorry, Mr. Tegnan, we can't hear your voice. Mr. Tegnan, sorry, we cannot hear your voice. Yes, you can hear my voice, but I cannot hear your voice. What about others? So others can hear Mr. Tegnan's voice from your speaker. Okay, now we're connecting again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, so we can hear your voice and also your video. We can see you from the camera. So.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Tegnan, we can hear you.
All right. Everything is fixed now.
Yes.
I borrowed my wife's computer, so it's working now. I'm glad, and I apologize again for everything. Really, I'm at fault here. Do you think it is necessary for me to share my screen again?
No. Now it's sharing, so we can see your presentation from the screen.
Okay. So because I wasted you guys your time, I don't want to take enough of your time. We're gonna go straight to it. I'll be talking about 4 issues today. The first is, of course, since we are to talk about the environment. So the first issue is going to be environmental protections law, because my background, what I know of, what I always talk about is the law. So I'll be showing some aspects of the protection of the environment through legislations. Second, I'll be talking about mining. Like I said in the outset of my introduction, we talk about mining and also talk slightly about maladministration, what it means. I'm pretty sure you are familiar with that. And also down to the line, I'll be also talking about corruption, of course. And the last point I'll be touching on will be the solution. So what are the solution of all of this? So don't worry, I'll do my best to keep it very short, I'll go to the point, so we can have a little discussion if time permits. So if you can move to the next slide, that'll be great. To my next, appreciate it. If you can.
Next slide, please.
Yeah. Can you just proceed to
next slide? Committee, please. Bisa berganti slide. Okay.
Okay, so here I've asked 2 questions. Who and what? So who is involved and what is involved? When you talk about the environment, you're talking about the legal protections. Of course, you'll be talking about government officials. I'll be talking about the law enforcement, the judiciary, the legislative. So law enforcement here, because I'm talking to a general public, law enforcement is the police, the security, everybody that the laws gives authority to apply the law. And also you have the judiciary, which is the judges, the courts, and the legislative, which is in the case of Indonesia, which is the parliament, and public companies, private businesses, and local community. So these are the environment within which my topic today involves. Can you please move to my next slide, please? Thank you so much. So here's a little background that I'll give you. Since the early 80s, Indonesia has enacted mining laws. So it's not something that begins yesterday. It took place, it begins a long time ago, where the government started enacting laws in Indonesia to prevent environmental degradation, to safeguard the environment in Indonesia. And you have a lot of rules dealing with mining too. So on one hand, the government is trying to protect the environment. On the other end, the government is also trying to protect business, because it's very important. However, after all these laws and rules that was put in place by the government, the situations didn't get better, because we've seen corruptions, we've seen environmental degradation still going on. So you might ask yourself, what is going on? What is wrong here? Because the government put in place a lot of laws and rules and regulations, but why the issue is still prevailing? So this is the whole question that I will try to break down today with you. So bear with me. It's going to take some legal terms, but I'll do my best to keep them simple. And I'll also appreciate if you can move to my next slide, please.
Next slide. Okay.
Thank you. So what are the causes of the lack of development of the mining business? What are the problems? Where do the problems come from? What creates them? And second, the question I'll try to break down here will be what causes environmental degradation in the mining sector and how to address these issues. So please move to my next slide. Now, these are the some of the answers that after doing the research that I came across. The first problem is there's a widespread of mining corruption. And I've developed that later, what I mean here by mining corruption, particularly in the area of business permits involving regional political leaders and private sectors. I'm not proud of saying that, but the problem is still there. Second, there's also a regional political elite that has compromised or jeopardized the environment and the ecosystem. So you have the national government and you have the local government, because mining is mostly conducted under the authority of the local government. So there's a huge role these local government play in the whole situation. And last, not least, you also have overlapping legislations and authorities in the mining and environmental sectors. So problem number one, we have permit issues. Second is the interference of political elites. And last, you have regulations that are overlapping. So these are, among many others, the three issues that we face today. So keep in mind, you cannot build a strong economic without a strong legal system. The two of them go in hand. If you want to have better jobs, better economic systems, you need to put in place those that works for the people. That's the basic principle of law. Law works for people and for business. So please, can you move to my next slide, please? Right. So here, ladies and gentlemen, what I try to do is to show you the laws. Like I said, the laws regulating mining and environmental protection in Indonesia began way back in the 80s, sorry. So you can see here the first law that was enacted is law number 4, 1982. It was on the basic provisions of the management of the living environment. So you can see here the government already knew since the 80s that protection of the environment has to be conducted, it has to be strongly fought. The government realized that a long time ago, so it's not an issue that dates last year or prior to COVID-19, it was a long time ago. And after that, you also have the law number 24, 1992. But however, like I said in my introduction, despite the existence of all these laws, the problem still continues. It still continues, but it gets worse. It gets worse. So bear with me here as I go through and try to pinpoint where the problem is based on my research. So please do me a favor, well, move to my next slide, please. As you can see here, so it's always the same. After the law that I just mentioned, you also have law number 20, 1987. You have the law 1990, law number 41, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to just give you a headache going through all of these laws, but it's just to show you that the government, the Indonesian government, is being serious about it. There's no doubt to say that the government is not doing anything about it. I had to just give you a little secret based on my whole experience in Indonesia. Indonesia is one of the countries that are well-built legal systems. one of the strongest and well stipulated constitution in the world. I read a lot of constitution, but when I read the Indonesian constitution, it's clear enough. So the law, as you might, maybe you're aware of that, the law is clear. There's a lot of regulation. Everything is almost regulated in Indonesia. But in practice, there is a discrepancy. There's a problem in practice. So you have the theory, it is good, but in practice, it is not yielding the results that was sought by the government. So all these laws, ladies and gentlemen, you see here, they're regulated environmental protection and the business of mining. Why am I showing all these laws? It is important to know them because maybe some of you might venture, might be willing to come up with a business because in the business school you study economics. Many of you guys. So it is important. That is one of the areas that is well regulated in Indonesia. You have law in place in there. So it's not like if nothing is really regulated, I can go in and do whatever I want. It is regulated. So be prepared for that. And also the environment takes a high position in the concern of the government. Please do me a favor and move my slide to the next one. So I try to not to go to the, I just don't want to bother you with all these regulations. There's so many of them. But why am I just showing you that? I'm showing these laws so you can see what the government has done, what the government is still doing, and where the problem is. So bear with me, like I said from the beginning. This one law from October the 3rd, 2009, it's very important. It is very important because it is one of the most important legislation that strongly deals with the fight against corruption in the mining business. It's very important. So the law number 23, 1997 was replaced by this law, law number 32, 2009. This law, what is so specific and so interesting about this law, it is because it sets forth criminal sanction for whoever violated the environmental law. So there's a criminal sanction in that, which is something very new because in Indonesia, any violation of environmental law is taken care of by the administrative law. So what is the difference between administrative law and criminal law? Administrative law is a body of the law that deals with administrative issues. So if, let's say, for example, a company or a governing body does something that is not according to the law, it's not going to be treated in a court of law. It's going to be treated in an administrative court. And in an administrative court, they don't take criminal sanction. There's no true criminal sanction. So nobody's going to go to jail because he didn't follow some administrative procedures. You're not going to go to jail. You're not going to lose your freedom. That's the difference. When, on the other hand, you have criminal sanction. The criminal sanction fall within the KUHP, which is the criminal code. So when you do something criminal, you'll be trial in a court of law, and if you are found to be guilty, you're gonna go to jail for a lot of time. A lot of time. And administrative sanctions, and mostly you have to repair what you've done. If it's money you've taken, you have to put that money back. So you're not going to go to jail for that. So this is a big issue right now in Indonesia because it is being treated, because we're talking about corruption here. So when corruption occurs in the mining sector, corruption, it is regulated by the Indonesian Criminal Code as a criminal offense or as a criminal act. But it is done within the environment, within the environmental law. So it is considered as an administrative sanction or administrative act. It's not a criminal. So you can see here the dual language. We got two languages here for the same issue here. So it is very important. Why is it important? Because it gives, I think it gives a safe haven, I should say, to criminals. Because they can escape, they can dodge, they can do whatever they want and not be sent to jail. This is what it means here. Because the administrative processes that take long time, and at the end, nobody's punished. Nobody's punished in the sense of a criminal punishment. So it's very important here to see that law number 32, 2009 brings in criminal sanction. But does it? Does it really go after the criminals, I mean the corruptors, and put them in jail? That's not, or it's not actually the case. So please move to my next slide so I can develop what I'm trying to develop here. I hope you follow me. Please move to my next slide. Okay, thank you. So here, as you can see, these are the environmental protection instruments. So first you have the strategic environmental studies that are conducted prior to giving a license to a company. And after that, you have spatial planning, you have environmental quality standards, and then you have environmental damage standard and criteria. You also have environmental management efforts, environmental monitoring efforts. So these are the bodies. And then when you go down, you have licensing. You also have environmental-based laws and regulations. So let me go up a little bit here. Point number one, it is strategic environmental studies. So let's say I am a businessman, I have a company that I want to go to Indonesia to invest in the mining sectors. I want to build a company. So what I do, I will submit my proposal to the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Economics. So all these ministers will go for it. And here I'm more concerned with the Ministry of Environment. They'll conduct a study, strategic environmental studies, to see that my company is not going to be a threat to the environment, to the environment in Indonesia. It's going to be a threat. It's not going to be a threat. So they'll do these studies.
Mr. Tegnan, sorry to interrupt, Mr. Tegnan. Yes. So our time is about 5 minutes more.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
we can do question and answer session after.
Okay, thank you. So you have the strategic. This number one, they have to go do a study. They'll check the field and do the thing, and then they'll check the spatial planning and environmental quality standard to see if you're not going to go in there and pollute the environment. You're not going to go in there and make it harder for the people who live there. The third one is what kind of impacts your business will have on the environment there. So they check all these things. And here I'm pointing this out because you can see here corruption happens here. The team that is supposed to go and do the checking, the inspection, they get bribed mostly because it's a company, it's a big money. So they get bribed. They don't report. They don't do proper investigation, and in the end, they issue licenses or permits for the company. So I came in there, I'm a bad businessman. All I care about is just get my company built. I don't care. I have the money. I go and see probably the mayor or the Bupati or the governor, and I say, look, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm bringing to the population. But you know what? Don't really look at what I'm doing as a bad effect on the environment. This is the money. Take the money and please give me the permit. And this happens a lot in Kalimantan. You can see that a lot happening there. Please move to my next slide. Okay, so like I pointed out here, I think this is exactly what I just said. I just narrowed it down here. But you can see here on 0.5 and 6, 0.5 and 6 also, it includes law enforcement. So the people, the police that goes on the field to make sure that the people are complying with the law. They get bribes sometimes, not all of them, but many of them sometimes. And then you have the judiciary, big company giving money to the judges so they can turn a blind eye on the issue. You also have people bribing the Anggota DPR, which is the parliament members, not to pass law, forbidding all these things. So it is really, really damaging the environment. It's really causing a negative effect on the environment, and it's not green anymore. It's getting orange, yellow and orange. It's going bad because of this thing. And then you have private businessmen. These are the people too, because usually we use to index, we to point fingers at government officials, is corrupt, this one is corrupt, but also have private businessmen will take the money and go bribe. So the corruption, who is corrupt here? They are corrupt too, because they corrupt judges, they corrupt police officers, they corrupt parliament members. That's what I wanted to highlight that too. Can you move to my next slide? I'm going to be quick on that. So this is a rather complex issue, but I think I touched on that earlier. Like I said, you have this concept is called the lex specialist, lex derogative, lex generalist. So if you have the mining sector, for example, if there's a law that is enacted by the parliament that deals with that situation, it's another law, maybe a law, administrative law that deals with the same. The superior law is the general law. So the specialist law is going to yield to the general law. So what it means here is, I already talked about that. If it is an administrative situation, criminal law cannot go in there. Okay? So if they're corrupt, you cannot prosecute them because it is not a criminal offense, it is an administrative offense. So the law of administrative should apply. But it's clear here, this is corruption. It is stated in the Undang-Undang Kitab Hukum Acara Pidana. It's written in there, the criminal code. So it should be treated as such, not as an administrative problem. So that's the issue that I tried to highlight here, but I think we don't have enough time left. And then second is also the principle of subsidiary in criminal law. So it's the same situation. It's roughly the same situation. So you have the criminal situation here, which is corruption, and you also, the same situation is regulated by administrative law. So it is very difficult which law should be applied first. And my last slide, please, if you can go to that quickly. Can you go? So what's the solution here? The solution is, like I pointed out there, okay, you have to do reforms. Okay, you have to change that situation I just explained here, change the law and just make it a criminal act. So the Justice Department can go in there and treat as a criminal law, treat them as criminals and bring them to the court of justice so they can be prosecuted, because this is obviously it's corruption. So this is, I just wanted to be so fast. There's a lot of things to go through, but that's exactly what I wanted to show you here. So we have here Article 4 of the Corruption Eradication Law by classifying any breach of environmental law involving bribery or any illegal payment as an act of corruption. So the new provision should also solve the less specialist derogates and legis generalis dilemma. So what exactly this means is, if it is regulated by the criminal law, let it be treated by the criminal law, not the administrative law, because this is a safe haven. What I mean by safe haven, it gives a free pass to corruptors or corrupt government official to escape facing justice. Thank you so much for your time. And again, I apologize for the technical issue. It could have been a very wonderful show, but I didn't tell you that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tegnan. So it's an outstanding presentation for you. From the topic is Green Economy Summer Course for our today's seminar. So I highlight some of your tagline that no strong economic without good legal system, and we do all agree about your statement. For all the participants, I would like to open question and answer related to our latest discussion about green economy and growth, especially in Indonesia. So anyone would like to ask question to Mr. Tegnan related to his materials about green economy? Please. Anyone would like to ask questions? No? Please, anyone? I would like to open question and answer sessions. So if anyone would like to ask about the topic that had been just discussed with Mr. Tegnan about economic growth. So actually, especially we talk more about law and also the legal system in Indonesia, especially in mining and also other issues related to the green environment. So maybe Mr. Tegnan, if I could ask you questions. So actually this issue happens involve many sectors, from local community and also from local government, and also maybe from the public company. So if we compare to the other countries, so which of the sector that actually did the such of issue for the the green economy for mining? Mr. Tegnan. So you please, you are muted.
Can you restate that question again, because I didn't.
So actually, this kind of issue involve many sectors, right? So maybe
right.
The government, the local community, or maybe even from the public, or maybe from the politicians. So actually, if you could put some of the best five, so from this, who actually play more dangerous in the sector, for especially for mining? So it is maybe they cooperate each other, like from the government, because you also say that the government wants to protect the environments, but the government also want to protect the business.
Yeah,
I think it's such a mathematics.
This is good questions, because it.
Oh, we lost him again. Mr. Tegnan? Okay, so Mr. Tegnan disconnects from our meeting. So maybe anyone would like to ask questions to Mr. Tegnan related to his presentation about green economy. Strong economy should have strong legal systems. Okay, Mr. Tegnans, reconnecting again. Mr. Tegnan? Mr. Tegnan, sorry, you muted. Mr. Tegnan, please open your mic. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm having serious issue here with it. Yeah. I apologize. So, just quickly to come back here, you have to look at who has the authorities, who has the power, and obviously it is the local government that has the power. So, to answer your question, like who plays a big role in who contribute most in the degradation of the environment, I would say here, because those who have the power to issue mining licenses are the one that play a big role in that, because they can prevent that from happening. Business investors, they can give you money or try to bribe you, but if you resist that, if you try your best not to follow that, if you are a government official, you're a public official, you have salary, you got all the privileges, and you're there to protect the people, not to take advantage of the people. So it's an easy case. You can just turn them down and just apply the law.
Okay.
That's not a good.
Mr. Tegnan, we have one question from the chat. So it's come from Bazili Fakhri. So actually, it's quite a heavy topic for the morning start. And then Mr. Fakhri would like to ask you a question about. He wanted to do a clarification that while the laws are there to prevent the corruption from the happening, so it means if the law is there, means the legal system is there, how effective it is for the internal controls for the internal controls being implemented by the relevant authorities to some extent.
Can you just say that again if I have difficulties? Like, how can we, can you please just say that again, please?
Okay, so this is like, the law is there. Actually, in Indonesia, we have, just like at the end of the presentation, you also said that we have the theory, we have the law, but the practice was not there. So, everything is regulated in Indonesia. So we do things for business is regulated in Indonesia. It's in our law. But how actually the internal control and also how do actually how effective are the internal controls? The internal control, maybe someone who actually control the regulation. So maybe the investors will not commit the what do we call will not break the rules.
Bribery, yeah. So you have, this is it's a multiple layer question that's being asked, because how do we supervise that? How do we make sure that the money is not taken? How do we make sure people are not bribed? This is a hard issue. You can't. This is what the Commission of the Eradication of Corruption, KPK, is trying to do. It's a hard task. You can't put the law in there and make sure the law doesn't allow people to be bribed. This is something that has to do with the moral, the ethics, the beliefs, religious beliefs. It's personal. No law can prevent anybody from being corrupt. That's unfortunately. No law can do that. So, but if you want to talk about the procedures, how to get the license, the system is already there to prevent corruption, because it's not just one person that gives the permit. Yeah, so it is it's a layer. So many people involved.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to see exactly. But like I pointed out, like who gives the license? So if somebody is doing a wrong business, a business that is hurting the environment,
Yeah.
it probably didn't have to. It shouldn't be given the license to begin with, if you understand what I'm saying.
Actually, it does not only hurt the environment, also they hurt the local people who live in that.
They're hurting the economic. They're also hurting the local community. They're also hurting the livelihoods, the ecosystems, and everything around life because they're making money.
Mr. Tegnan, there is one more also ask a question about how do we end up this kind of corruption, because so as you know that many layers involved in this issue for this kind of legal issues.
Yes, right. It brings up a lot of, like I just said, it's difficult for the law to make sure that people are not corrupt.
Okay.
It is really difficult to do so. You can take countries around, Southeast Asia. You can see Malaysia. Don't go too far. Just see Malaysia. Malaysia, if you talk in terms of corruption, it is pretty. The conditions there is pretty beautiful. It's not as corrupt as it is, and it has nothing to do with the population. Because you will say, oh, okay, Malaysia has like a little population. Indonesia, like hundreds of millions of people. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with their moral, the ethics, the culture of a people. You see, so corruption is not something that can be just eliminated by creating laws, but it takes time. There's a change of mentality you have to do. There's a change of culture. Like I said, there's this one great lawyer that's called Friedman. Friedman says that when you talk about legal system, there are two structures. There are two components. You have the legal structure, which is the courts, the judge, and everybody in there. And also you have the legal substance with the laws. So what kind of laws that we should put in place to fight corruption? And then you have the legal culture. Okay, so it's three strings. So if you fight one, how to create a better judiciary, how to create a better law-making body that will create good quality law, effective laws, and you have the legal culture. Now, how do you educate people to comply with the law? This is something that needs to be done. So to answer your question, it has to do with the legal culture of the Indonesian people. It has nothing to do with the illegal substance, because like I pointed out, Indonesian laws, they are very clear, and you have a lot. Everything is almost regulated in Indonesia. This is incredible. But the practice is, so if you give a car, let's say a Lamborghini, to somebody, it's a beautiful car, the car is brand new, it has everything. But why it is still having accident, is still not driving? So it has to do with the driver, not the car, because the car just came out of the factory. So it could be the driver. The driver must have some, mentality. Maybe he's not prepared to drive. Maybe it shouldn't be driving, So it has to do a lot with the culture of the people. So sometimes we tend to ignore that when it comes to corruption. And it's not just the institution, but individually. What do we do to make that stop? You can go to some villages where people are also corrupt. People will give you money just you can put their son to universities. Hey, I got my son here. He wants to go to college. You work at the university. Can I give you, 5 million, 10 million so you can get my son accepted to the university? That's also corruption. Yeah. So it is not just the government, because the government is a front player. People see, but the back door, people on the lower level, it's also something that needs to be dealt with from the very bottom.
Yeah, we get it, Mr. Tegnan. So, Mr. Teknan, we are at the end of the meeting. So, we have thank you very much before for from your presentation. It was very outstanding. You talk and discuss more about our green economy, and also thank you very much, Mr. Tegnan. And before we close the seminar for our today's session, I would like to conclude about what Mr. Tegnan had presented about green economy growth, especially in Indonesia. So I highlight some of the statement from Mr. Tegnan that a strong economy should have strong legal system. And Indonesia, we have a lot of legal system because everything is regulated. But actually, so in practice, there are some of the action and also issue is not regulated by the law, and also no strong economy with a strong legal system. So when the economy grows, the legal system was not there. So therefore, the widespread of corruptions and politician leaders also involved in the layer of corruption. And how to tackle and how to handle this kind of issue and corruption it goes back to us, to how do actually our mentality, and also how do actually we change our culture to set our environments so we can protect, the government can protect the business, and also the government can protect the environment as well. So I would like to say thank you, Mr. Tegnan, for your presentation and also your presence for our today's seminar, International Summer Course. And thank you very much for all the participants to join the seminar. So thank you very much for us and also for the community. So I would like to give the authority to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much from me, Mr. Abdul Manar, as the moderator.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And I apologize again for all the technical issues. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Mr. Tegnan. So the Master Ceremony, please. Mr. Tegnan, we have engineer for the certificate, sorry. Yep. Thank you.
Thank to Mr. Abdul Ahmanar, who has guided the lecture, and thank to Dr. Hilary Tegnan for the informative and insightful presentation. Here we are awarding you a certificate of appreciation. Before we end this, we have a photo session to Dr. Tegnan. Please give a smile when I count until 3. Ready? Okay, maybe can with Mr. Abdul Almanar. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, and 3. Okay, thank you to Mr. Abdul Almanar for the time.
The next agenda is the second lecture by Professor Ram Al-Jafri bin Saad, where the topic is Green Accounting as an Instrument for Disclosure of Corporate Social Responsibility. This topic will be guided by a moderator, Ms. Asofihana Fadila, SA MBA. To Ms. Asafa, time and place are yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. I'm Asofihana Fadila. Moderator this session, and very pleased to see you here and welcome all of you to the last day of the summer course event. First of all, let us thank to the Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Because of His blessing, we are able to come here to join in this event. Before we begin, I would like to introduce you. The speaker today is Professor Dr. Ram Al-Jafri bin Saad, Bachelor of Management Accounting, Master of Science. And today, he will present about green accounting as an instrument for disclosure of corporate social responsibility. I will brief information from our speaker. Our speaker today is the Professor Dr. Ram Al Jafri bin Saad. Areas of specializations: zakat accounting, Islamic accounting, and behavioral research in accounting. Academic and professional qualifications: in 2012, postdoctoral from University in UK. 2010, PhD accounting in University Utara Malaysia. And 2004, Master of Science. And last in 2021, Bachelor of Management Accounting, University Technology Malaysia. Whatever experience, he has a tutor academic in University Utara Malaysia, lecturer academic in University Utara Malaysia, and senior lecturer academic University Utara Malaysia. Main current research areas: first one, zakat accounting, and the second one, Islamic accounting, and the third one, behavioral research in accounting. He has many experience, projects, publications, books, and others. But I'm sorry, I can't mention one by one his experience. Now, I will read one by one our agenda. The first session is presentation time from Mr. Ram Al Jafri, and the second one is question and answer, and the third session is voting. Okay, next agenda is presentation. The presentations will start, and are you ready, guys? Okay, please welcome Mr. Ram Al Jafri.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning, because here is still in the morning to all of you. Thanks, Chairman, for the invitation, and then for the introduction, a brief about me. So before I start my lecture, just want to check whether the sound is okay. My voice can be heard clearly.
Yes, Professor.
Okay, everything okay, Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, so the organizer will share the slide, or I need to share it myself? Which one? The slide presentation, because I did give to the organizer last night the slide. So the topic given to me today is there are two things that I need to focus on our discussion today. Number one is about green accounting and the association with the social or corporate social disclosure, okay, especially for the company or enterprise. Okay, the organizer, could you please share the slide? The presentation slide, because I will start the presentation with slide number one, because I need to introduce myself as been mentioned by the chairman just now. Chairwoman just now. My name is Ram Al Jafri. I am a professor in accounting. Okay, this one. Okay, this is my address. So now I am with Tunku Putri Intan Safina School of Accountancy, University Utara Malaysia, Situk Kedah. So I believe some of you have heard about this university. We are ranked 150 to 200 in terms of QS ranking in the world, especially on business and accounting. Alhamdulillah. So I am here to share and to learn something from you, from all of you there. Okay, and please do not hesitate to call me or to contact with me if you have any issue to discuss. Okay, I'm willing to help. Okay, since the topic given to me is about green accounting as an instrument for disclosure of corporate social responsibility, so I will try to discuss a little bit about the. I will start with the definition. Okay, with the advancement of technology, various software and their hosting methods have evolved. Okay, over the years, although the technology has optimized the performance of accounting and streamlined the accounting process, it has impacted, okay, the environment in an unfriendly way. Okay, so hence to mitigate the harmful impact of technology on the environment, more and more emphasis is being laid, okay, on the environment surrounding us. So organizations have now started recognizing its importance and formulating steps to promote green and environmental friendly causes. So green accounting, what is green accounting actually? Okay, green accounting is one such term that maps the environmental factors, okay, to the business plan, so that the environment is not ignored in any way. So as an accountant, we put a cost, okay, for the environment, okay, which is, I believe that sometimes or some scholar term or use the term environmental accounting. So there are some scholars use green accounting and some other scholars use environmental accounting, which is the same meaning, which is a new branch of accounting that aims at accounting for the environment and its well-being. So the adoption of green accounting depicts the commitment of an enterprise all over the world or organization has towards the environment, and it deals with three important factors, which is number one is people, the second one is the profitability, and of course the third one is the planet, and also deal with the cost and the advantages or benefits of an environment bring to business. And then the green, as a conclusion, green accounting is a type of accounting that attempts to factor environmental costs, okay, into the financial result or financial performance of operations. So it has been argued that gross domestic product ignores the environment actually currently, and therefore policymakers, practitioners need to revise model that incorporates green accounting. Okay, that is the meaning of the green accounting. Okay, next slide. We will discuss the major purpose of green accounting. Next slide, please. Slide number 3. Okay. The purpose. The previous one. The purpose of green accounting. Yes, this one. Okay. So the major purpose of green accounting is to help businesses understand and manage, okay, the potential quad pro quo between traditional economic goals and environmental goals. So it also increases the important information available to analyze policy issues, especially when those vital pieces of information are often overlooked. Green accounting is said to only ensure weak sustainability, which should be considered as a step ultimately a strong sustainability. And it is a controversial practice, however, since depletion may be already factored into accounting for the extraction industry, and the accounting of externalities may be arbitrary. It is obvious, therefore, that a standard practice would be to be established in order for it to gain both credibility and use. Depletion is not the whole of environmental accounting, however, with pollution being but one factor of business that is almost never accounted for specifically. And according to one of the professor in University of Maryland in the United States, Julian Lincoln Simons, when he argued that the use of natural resources result in greater wealth as evident by falling prices over time or virtually all non-renewable resources. So that is the purpose of accounting. So as a conclusion, we could say that green accounting or environmental accounting demonstrate an organization commitment actually towards the key aspect of our surrounding, such as the planet, people, and of course, not forget to be mentioned is about profitability. That is the ultimate aim of the operation of the company. So environmental accounting practice are mainly implemented by companies to include the environmental costs in the financial strategy, in their financial operations. So it incorporates the environmental assets and resources into the corporate accounts. So it measures the social, environmental, and economic impact of business. With the implementation of green accounting, the corporate sector becomes aware of the environmental parameters and inculcate the cost in their budget. Okay, so we go to slide number 4, the objective. What is the objective of green accounting? So there are so many objectives. Slide number 4, please. Next slide. Okay, this one. So I listed 9 objectives of green accounting, which I believe that there are more than that. Okay, so number 1 is to assess environmental costs and the advantages, especially for the company, for the people, and for the planet. Okay, and number 2, to segregate and categorize various environmental costs, to link physical resources with environmental accounts monetarily. The objective of green accounting, such as to identify that part of the gross domestic product for the economic benefit of the people, to establish the linkage of physical resources accounts with monetary environmental accounts, to assess of environmental costs and benefits, to accounting for the maintenance of tangible resources, and number 9, the last one, is to elaborate and measurement of indicators of environmentally adjusted product and income. Okay, next slide. What is important of green accounting? Okay, the changes. Next slide. Okay, changes in the environment have a negative bearing on not just the environment, but on the economy as a whole. And it is a well-known fact that changes in the economy have a direct bearing on the changes in any business. And it is also important to note that the gross domestic product, which is the GDP of every country, of a country, can be affected actually by 2 factors. Number 1 is environmental, and the second one is the climate change. In addition to this, as people become more and more aware and cautious of environmental issue, the need for sufficient and appropriate corporate disclosure is growing all the more. Okay, why does green accounting matter? Next slide, please. Climate change. Okay, the keyword just now, environmental and climate change. So climate change will affect the quality of life on Earth, okay, as well as economic factors. And according to the climate vulnerability monitor reported by the US, and in the US itself, it will lose 2% of its GDP as a result of drought and water shortage by 2030. Okay, like other countries, we have no information yet, okay, especially for the developing country. But in the US, they will lose by 2030, 2% of the GDP just because of the environmental and climate change. And investors, of course, are increasingly interested in corporate disclosure of greenhouse gas emissions, water and energy consumption, waste creation and recycling, and renewable energy use. And what is the difference? So now when the company need to introduce the new term of accounting, which is green accounting, and what is the impact if we compare with the conventional accounting system? So for conventional accounting, what I have learned in the university during my time, okay, for conventional accounting, the most common form of accounting does not take into consideration a lot of factors like environmental expenditure, such as pollution. It does not study the cause and effect relationship that an environmental incident may cause a business or organization. And conventional accounting does not study or measure the exhaustion of environmental resources to take into consideration the degradation of the environment. So that's why green accounting come into the world, and then so now the increasing use of the term green accounting and environmental accounting so has made the business or organization as aware of the importance of the green accounting compared to the conventional accounting system. Okay, what is the type of green accounting? Okay, there are 3 types of green accounting. Number 1 is environmental management accounting. Okay, the second one is environmental financial accounting and environmental national accounting. Okay, let me explain what is environmental management accounting. This type of green accounting incorporates both the environmental, okay, and economic information by identifying the resources usage and the expenses involved in a company economic impact, okay, on the environment. So EMA defines the approach that a business is expected to follow in order to analyze the environmental factors and manage the workflow of the organization accordingly. That is the environmental management accounting. The second one, financial accounting, environmental financial accounting. As the name suggests, okay, this type of accounting deal with the financial aspect of the business with respect to the environment, okay, and then this type of management, this type of green accounting is concerned with accounting for environmental transaction, and will be used for the external uses of financial accounting, which have an impact or are going to impact the financial performance of an organization. The financial system responsible for environmental financial accounting analyze the financial risk as well as profitable of the company, profit and performance of the company with respect to the environmental factors specific to the business. That is the environmental financial accounting. And the last one, environmental national accounting. This type of accounting involves national level accounting with a focus on green costs and natural resources. With environmental national accounting, the environmental aspect related to a nation is integrated with the national accounts. Okay, there are 3 types of environmental accounting. How to implement green accounting? We as people in the world, we stay in the different country, but we can practice. Okay, we can practice the green accounting by ourselves. So be it accounting or any other business, everyone is responsible for making business decisions that may help to improve environmental conditions. Here are some ways. Number 1, for the company, for the business, please educate people Please educate employees. Train accountant to use eco-friendly methods to work in the office. So no more paper, no more what else. So please use a paperless. Even for the meeting also, you can just like what we did today. We didn't print anything for the material. Assign them training courses. Provide them incentive for working green, and make energy management fun with interactive activities. And the second one, minimize paper, as I said just now. Try to reduce the use of paper in the office premise. Creating a completely paperless accounting process may not be practical, of course, especially like me, the old people, okay, who are still need to use the paper, need to print the meeting minutes just to go through. But the use of paper can be reduced to some extent. Okay, so track the number of papers per employee, for example, make printing less convenience, and request a paperless statement from the bank. So it will help to reduce the use of paper. And then implement green techniques. Okay, use techniques in the accounting system to implement a greener solution, such as to create monthly green challenges, for example. In UHAMKA also you can practice that. Okay, opt for eco-friendly office product, embrace renewable energy, maximize natural light, reuse and recycle. So I believe in Malaysian, most of the Malaysian university have practiced these three recycle, reuse. Okay, the word is okay. The recycle, reuse campaign just to promote, just to make people here aware on the importance of the green accounting. And then the thought number 4 is to increase mobilization, encourage accountants, encourage students, encourage people to lower commute emission. Okay, by biking, okay, walking, carpooling, yes, Ronald, the 3R, okay, working from home, adopt cloud accounting to reduce the number of people traveling to the office and reduce the company's carbon footprint. Okay, and what else? The last one, decrease energy consumption, reduce the energy consumption of the office, for example, which will not only help to save the environment, also help to reduce energy. This is the most important, the energy bills. Okay, the electricity bills. So use energy saving bulbs, implement light sensors, for example, turn down AC and upgrade your appliance. So by doing this, even though it is we start from the small, so we can hopefully one day we can save our planet. Okay, so now we move to the next term, which is corporate social responsibility. So what is corporate social responsibility? So environmental problems are important factors to be considered given the impact of poor environmental management, not just in developing country. I believe that this problem has been facing by many countries in the world. The issue of environmental damage, it causes an impact on human life in the present as well as future impact cause the entire community, entire people, okay, like us, the people, to realize the importance of preserving the environment. So the modern economy as it is today has raised environmental issues such as what is that? Global warming, economic or eco-efficiency, and other industrial activities that have a direct impact on the surrounding environment. Okay, so many countries around the world, okay, I believe that in my country as well, Malaysia, mandated enterprise to establish green accounting and to disclose environmental information for the reference of the interested party, especially the users of the financial statement. So the notion of corporate social responsibility is nowadays related to issues such as environmental protection, health and safety at work, okay, relation with local communities, and relation with consumers. And it may be defined as a concept whereby companies decide voluntarily, okay, to contribute to a better society and a cleaner environment. Companies are thus supposed to voluntarily integrate social and environmental concerns in their operation and interaction with stakeholders. Although green accounting has become a norm around the world, but it is still in the promotion stage in many countries. A recent study by Tu and Huang 2015 shows that because it is just we are at the infancy stage, okay, to implement the green accounting. Okay, so what is the disclosure of environmental accounting? Next slide, slide number 10. Disclosure of, next slide please. Okay, disclosure, okay, at the moment, okay, what is the situation or the current development for the disclosure of environmental accounting? According to the recent study, the most recent study, it is shows that disclosure environmental is still very lacking, is still very limited. Disclosure of environmental accounting, especially in developing countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, is still very lacking actually. And much of the research that have evolved in the area of social accounting shows that the company report its environmental performance is still very limited. Environmental accounting or green accounting is the field of accounting science that serve to identify, measure, assess, and report. Okay, number 4 is report. This is accounting actually. Okay, identify, measure, assess, and report. Environmental accounting. That is accounting. And waste management undertaken requires measurement, assessment, disclosure, and reporting of waste management costs from the result of the operation of the company. Application of environmental accounting also aims to find out how much environmental costs incur in managing the waste by using the accounting system so as to minimize the cost incurred and control the economic responsibility in maintaining the environment around the company. And then the third one is can create environmental cost report to be a management guideline in decision making. And recent research shows that the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI, guideline and private sector self-regulation are still insufficient to monitor environmental disclosure. Okay, and then other studies such as by Lindria Nasari 2017 shows that one of the limiting factors is the weakness of the legal section prevailing in the country. And there is, as a conclusion, the study conclude that there is a negative relationship actually between the legal sanction of compulsory environmental disclosure with regulatory discrimination by the company. And then the environmental accounting also describe efforts to combine environmental benefit and cost, as I did mention in the earlier discussion, into economic decision making. So next slide please. The accounting and environment. Accounting imposes an array of challenges actually in managing and measurement informative order to recognize and to value of environmental nature that commune with the interests of the several segments aforementioned. In order to confirm this, it is necessary to count on accurate information about the environmental costs needed to elaborate reliable financial environmental indicators. In according with the financial accounting standard, accounting serves to provide information in decision making and accountability. And so far, the preparation of financial statement only focus on the interest of investor, okay, and creditors, which is the external users of financial statement, but ignore the externalities of the operations carried out, such as air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, and others. So with the existence of green accounting or environmental accounting, it is expected the organization or company or business or enterprise more disciplined in managing waste from operational result that may endanger the environment. Okay, and however, based on the current research, researchers found that from other countries, found that many of which, especially from developing countries, underrepresented within the research establishment and enter the ranks of contributors to accounting, auditing, and accountability and other leading edge journals. So one of the great contributions in the field of social and environmental accounting internationally was granted by, it started in 1997 by Matthews, who revised 25 years of the literature in the area. And the authors provide a structure that allows readers and researchers to organize in time and determine the trends, offering bibliographic detail from the beginning and interest for the study to this area. And green accounting makes environmental expenditure a part of operational costs. Thus, new thinking, I believe, that should be adopted for product design in order to maintain the existing profit, enhance environmental performance, or meet the green accounting rules. Okay, and then this new product design concept should meet the environmental requirements on product development and production, and green accounting involve saving resources, green product, clean production, and environmental production. Okay, this is slide number 12, I believe. I'm trying to relate with the environmental management in business. So environmental management in business have evolved over time with a better understanding of the financial environment, cost and benefit as input for conventional management accounting. The main stimulus is on environmental related factors that can increase profitability and firm financial position. Accounting, as you know, I know that some of you have accounting background, so accounting as a science, not an art, okay, has grown steadily and significantly in recent years due to increase in the number of graduate, program and in the teams and consequently in the scientific production. Environmental accounting is a branch of the accounting science. Okay, environmental accounting is used to assess the full environmental costs associated with production activities and product processes in the form of raw materials, energy, water, and output in the form of pollution, water, and soil waste. Okay, environmental accounting can also be used to track the environmental performance of an organization to be more measurable. Excellent in principle finds ways in pollution prevention with environmental management system in environmental decision making process. and it is necessary as a tool to measure and evaluate the benefit to be gained from business and environmental activities. Environmental management is required to quantify and identify the environmental cost impact generated in all relevant processes, such as waste disposal. And companies need to identify potential environmental impacts and their impact in each process and evaluate management resources appropriately allocated for environmental influence. Okay, that is for the environmental management. We go to the next slide, please, slide number 13. So what is the relationship between green accounting and sustainable development? Okay, after addressing green accounting in 1971 by Parker, which is, he is the pioneer. I could say that he is the pioneer in the green accounting and sustainable development research. So there is a lot of progress made regarding the study of green accounting with the scope of evaluating the social performance of finance, financial activities, and disclosure of social responsibility. The concept of green accounting basically involves the assessment of environmental costs and resources loss within a country, and to assist enterprise in understanding and managing the trade-off between environmental goals and traditional economic goals. Green accounting was developed then, and it has become necessary for enterprise to develop method for promoting green incentive for both the present and the future through green accounting. By studying and growing green into a big picture, so green accounting, I believe, to promote a sustainable future for enterprise, for business, for organization. Alternatively, sustainable development requires companies to consider their performance objective within three perspectives. Number one is financial, the second one is the environmental, and the third one is the social. Okay, and then in terms of globally, sustainable development is a concern on the national level. So in the era of economic growth, I believe that the depletion of non-renewable resources is leading to a shortage of fuels and energy, which contributes to a breakdown of the natural environment, increasing natural disasters. Therefore, integrating sustainable development into economic growth, environmental protection, and social security has become a pressing necessity for the world, for the planet. So the fundamental phenomenon has caused many especially heavy polluting companies to obtain better economic benefit, actually, mainly through space for time and environment for economy, which has contributed to the gross domestic product growth. And organization must include forecast environmental impacts, treat ways to minimize this impact, and implementation environmental protection measures in their annual report. And I believe that there is a significant positive correlation between the implementation of green accounting and the sustainable development. This need to be tested with the empirical data. So if we have the data, so we can see whether there is a positive relationship between green accounting and the sustainable development. Okay, next slide. I'm trying to link between disclosure of corporate social disclosure and sustainable development. So what is the relationship between these two? Since the introduction of corporate social responsibility back to 1950s, it has been the focus of many scholars, especially the academic scholars. As a result, whether companies should perform social responsibilities has also been divided into two groups, which is number one, to support, and the second one is to oppose or opposition of the idea. However, with the continuous progress of society, some companies do not assume social responsibility, and the undesirable consequences brought about gradually unified the opinions of the two factions. That is, as an economic entity, companies needs to draw many critical resources from society to obtain development. Since the development of company cannot be separated from the support of social resources, they need to bear specific social responsibility is inevitable. The excellent performance of social responsibilities can enable companies, organizations to obtain strategic essential development resources, enhance the trust of consumers in the company, and at the same time attract more attention to investors. The fulfillment of corporate social responsibility is inevitable in the form of charitable donations, but also environmental protection, job solving, and other aspects. Among the heavily pollution company, it has been an extreme economic development model for a long time, which has caused severe damage to the environment, and then resulting in the increasing frequency of extreme weather, okay, such as which has severely impacted the quality of life of the people and the planet. Therefore, I believe that the companies that only focus on economic development ignores the concentrated expression of the fulfillment of social responsibilities. And in recent years, companies have started integrating CSR as an strategic investment into their core business strategy, as well as management instrument and operations. And so I believe that there is a positive association or positive relationship between the quality of social responsibility information disclosure and the sustainable development, okay, especially for the company that have involved a lot of pollution in the planet. Okay, the last one, there is the impact of social responsibility disclosure between the implementation of green accounting and sustainable development. Last slide, please, the organizer. Okay. With the continuous development of the concept of corporate social responsibility, the traditional view of charitable donation of the companies have quietly changed. Of course, social responsibility does not only include charitable donation, as I did mention just now, but also includes more content. Okay, as an accounting treatment method actively promoted by the country, so green accounting can effectively improve the sustainable development activity or ability of the enterprise, of the organization, which is after effective implementation of the program. The enterprise should strengthen the implementation of green accounting, which is also a corporate social responsibility that embedded with performance, with the operation, with the financial or non-financial activities. So the disclosure of corporate social responsibility information is a concrete manifestation of the performance of social or environmental concerns. So the higher the quality of the disclosure, the better of performance of the corporate social responsibility. And the more essential benefit can be received the intention of people to imply green accounting and promote corporate sustainability. So the quality of social responsibility information disclosure can positively regulate the implementation of green accounting and the sustainability of the especially the polluting companies. Corporate social responsibility reporting, sustainable development, and use of green accounting have traditionally been considered largely within the scope of Western economies, actually. Despite this, many legal corporations claim to have taken steps to improve the environmental and social within developing countries following highly publicized incident and heavy environmental pollution. So by that, I believe that the quality of social responsibility information disclosure significantly enhance the correlation between the implementation of green accounting and sustainable development. So as a conclusion, so the critical task of the collective development of the environment and the economy, the higher the quality of its social responsibility information disclosure, the more conducive to the implementation of green accounting. So this will further ensure and improve the company's sustainable development capabilities, and at the same time, the more capable it is to make continuous investment in profitable project with a positive net present value, and it will also be more able to obtain external investors. Okay, this is I believe that the first part of the discussion, the green accounting and the corporate social disclosure. We end to this by discussing this slide. But I did try to look at the trend, especially on the bibliometric information on the current study about green accounting and environmental accounting. Can we go to the next presentation, the organizer? I mean the next 5, green accounting. I did send it to the organizer. The bibliometric analysis of the green accounting and the environmental accounting. Next 5, please. Yeah, the green accounting, yes. the graphical information.
You show the graphic.
The next file. I did send to the organizer this morning. Have you received that?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, the slide, the next slide, which is on green accounting. If you have not received that slide, so I will share it on my own. Do you have that? The green accounting and environmental accounting.
Yes, I have it.
Okay.
Thank you for Mr. Geoffrey. Well, everyone, now we will move to question and answer session. First, we open 3 questions from our participants. Please raise your hand And don't forget to mention your name before question or answer. Any questions maybe?
Okay. Before that, can I share this? Can I share this slide? The
Oh yes.
bibliometric information on the green accounting and environmental accounting
Okay,
before
sure.
I end my presentation. Okay, thank you. Okay, I did conduct a simple bibliometric analysis, and I did found that at the moment started from 1992 until 2022, there are 246 documents published in Scopus databases, Scopus database. So you can see the trend. So there it is. We can say that uh, upward trend. Okay, the article or any publication material that published on the green accounting. So we can see from the graph it started in 1992 where there are less than 5 papers published in that year, and compared to 2022, so at the moment currently for this year we have 15 papers, okay, published in Scopus journal. They are talking about green accounting. Okay, there is a growing trend of the paper or the material published on the green accounting issue, and this is the most prominent authors. Okay, so in the subject of green accounting, there are a lot of authors actually, but I sort it based on the most 15 prominent authors in green accounting. So we have Professor James Bartumus, and I believe that some our friends from Indonesia also have the name here. And then if we look at the based on the affiliation of the authors, and most of them are from University McGill. And when we go through, there are University Technical Malaysia, and then okay, this is based on their top 15 affiliation. Those who are wrote a paper on the green accounting issue. And then documents by country, when I analyzed the document, I found that most of the paper are talking or originally is from United States, number one, with 50 documents, followed by United Kingdom with 30 documents, and then Canada, and surprisingly we have from Indonesia. Okay, the total is, I believe that 14 papers, 14 documents have been published, okay, on the green accounting. So Malaysia is only eight documents, okay, and then this is the issues or the area, okay, which is we are talking about the paper that published based on the subject area, and we found that most of them, of course, when we are talking about green accounting, they should be published in the journal in the area of environmental, okay, or in economics, finance, or in business and management. But 25% of the research or article published in green accounting has been published in journal where the area is in environmental issues. Okay, and this is the document by types where most of them are published in the article, which is 65.9% article journal, followed by the second biggest portion is conference paper, and then publish in book chapter and review article, and then book, they are 3.7%. That is about green accounting. And the next term, when I did a search on the bibliometric information on the environmental accounting, which I believe some of the author may use the environmental accounting to refer to the green accounting. This is the trend, okay, where it started in 1976 compared to the green accounting just now. It started in 1992. So also the same trend, there is a growth, is very good, moving forward, okay. And then if we see as at 2020, so 2024 maybe the article is still in press, okay. So for 2020 there are more than 100 papers, 100 articles being published on the issues of environmental accounting in the world. So based on my search, there are 1,442 documents has been published, and this is the most or document by authors. I took 15 prominent authors in this area, in the area of environmental accounting. So we can see the name. The name here is started Professor Giannitti, okay, where he has published 25 articles, okay, on the topic. And so if we look at by country, okay, by affiliation, okay, we found that there are more than 35 papers has been wrote by the authors from Università Tecniche Studi di Siena. I don't know from where of this university, but if we look at the developing country, so we have we still I think the researcher, the authors from universities in developing country is still not the right much paper on the environmental accounting. But if we break down it into the country or territory, we can find that, okay, so there are the country, if we look at most of the paper come from the developed country, such as the US, the UK, Italy, Australia, and we cannot see Malaysia and Indonesia, the developed country, here on the issues of environmental accounting. And most of the environmental accounting issues has been discussed instead of environmental, as what we know just now, where the focus of green accounting, most of the articles are published in the environmental subject area. But interestingly, for the environmental accounting, most of them are published in business, management, and accounting journal. Okay, and of course, most of them, or majority of them, 72.7% are published in article journal format. I think that's all my sharing session today. Thank you for lending your ears. I give back the session to the organizer from UHAMKA. Thanks a lot. Thanks for everything. And I welcome if there is any question from the floor. If I can respond, I will respond. If I can't respond, maybe I will keep in touch with you. So I will write email or so on just to respond with the question being asked for me today. Okay, thanks a lot. And then get back to you, Hamka, Madam Sophie Fadila. Okay, yeah.
Yes, Professor. Yeah. Thank you for Mr. Abjasi. I sorry, Mr. my mistake because something wrong on my PC, so I can't hear well. And now we will move to question and answer sessions. First, we open the question for all participants. Please raise your hand and don't forget to mention your name before you give us questions. Okay, for participant, any questions maybe? Hello guys, have you any questions for this topic? Guys, you can ask the question about green funding as an instrument for disclosure of corporate social responsibility to Mr. Al-Ghafri. You can raise your hand and mention your name.
So if you look like that there is no question, maybe my explanation is 100% understandable by the participant. It's a good sign for me.
Well, okay, Professor. I have two questions
Okay.
from the participants. This is about providing information discussion on my inclusion and environmental degradation in Indonesia. Oh no, I'm so sorry. That's not our topics, but this one from Ronald
Okay.
from the Philippines. My question is: are we the developing country will be able to cope up the trend of fellow developed country based on your statistics?
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Professor Rono Griallo, our friend from the Philippines. And I believe that, okay, Prof and other friend, if we can collaborate, okay, for example, like today, I am from Malaysia, okay, our friend from Philippines and UHAMKA, if we collaborate and we go together, we write a paper, we do a research, we collaborate in terms of research, in terms of publication, in terms of consultation, in terms of entrepreneurship, for example. Okay, not just on this issue, not just on the accounting, not just in the green accounting or sustainable development. I think any issue, if we can collaborate, if we can work together, I think we can fight. We can be at least at the level of the developed countries, or we can be better than them. Okay, because we also or they also want to learn from us as well. Okay, and we have so many resources, so many talented researchers, authors, that I believe that if we work together, we collaborate together, we can be better than them, or at least at par than those who come from the developed countries. Okay, that is my response to our friend, Mr. Ronald from the Philippines. Okay, thank you.
Okay, for the next questions, for the participant, any questions, please? Okay, Professor, could you give us your email contact for the participants? Maybe
Okay.
they want to ask directly you.
Okay, I read in the text box, so you can refer. My email is very simple: ram at uum.edu.my.
Okay.
That is
Thank you.
my email address. You're welcome.
Okay, now, before, yes, maybe, I think when no participant ask again on the sessions, I would like to say thank you to the presenter Mr. Ram Al Jafri to great presentation for us and all of the participants for active participant, and the conclusion of presentations today is about green accounting. Is about green accounting to understand and manage economic goals and environmental objectives that are applied in making business decisions based on environmental analysis and impact to occur as a result of the price in business policies. Yeah? And corporate social responsibility is environmental protection from accounts design by the company and related to green accounting and corporate social responsibility that can use the concept of the 3R: reduce, reuse, and recycle for sustainable development of the company. And before we enter the station, I would like to say sorry if any mistake from me, and hopefully the presentation will give benefit for us. Thank you for your attention and see you later. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And for the next session, I will return to the master of ceremony.
Thank you to Ms. Asofi Hana, who had guided the second lecture. And thank you to Professor Ram Al-Jafri bin Saad for the informative and insightful presentations. Here, we have awarding you a certificate of appreciation. We would like to take a picture of you with a certificate for our documentary sessions. To Professor Ram Al-Jafri bin Saad, please give smile when I count until 3. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Once again, thank you very much for Professor Ram Al-Jafri bin Saad for the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda is awarding for participants who had followed the agenda from the first day until today. An award for the best participant goes to Miss Laika Mary Tanagras from Philippines. Congratulations to Miss Laika for the win. So Miss Laika, maybe you can give us a speech regarding to the best participant today. Hello, Miss Laika. Congratulations.
Hello, thank you so much.
Okay, Miss Laika, maybe you can give us a little speech regarding to be the best participant.
Okay, so good day everyone. I didn't expect to receive such award because in my part, I only did my best to complete this entire 5 days of summer class. And since that I am new to this endeavor, I am challenged to do the activities as well as to answer some of the pre-tests and of course to keenly listen to the lectures. So I am very happy that and also proud that I was chosen as the best participant in this year's summer class. So thank you so much, Uhamka, and to my fellow participants.
Well, thank you and congratulations again to Miss Laika.
Thank you. God bless.
Last sessions, I would like to ask two of you to give the impression about this event. Does anyone want to participate? Okay, so I already have a list here. For Miss Baziliati from Malaysia, do you have something to say according to our event today? Hello, Miss Baziliati.
Yes, I just unmuted. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear respected lecturers, professors, doctor, organizers, and their MC and their respected participants from all over the world. I'm Fazilaiti Ababeke. I'm PhD candidate in Institute of Islamic Banking and Finance in International Islamic University, Malaysia. I would like to sincerely thank to you all for this excellent online course, International Summer Course provided by University Prof. Dr. Hamka since from 15th August until today, 20th August in 2022. And these 5 days were amazing for me. And I believe all of you had the same experience with me because we had a very knowledgeable lecturers from various sectors. And we had a wonderful MC and moderators. And mashallah, we had very helpful patient committee members since from day one until today. I appreciate that we received very beneficial knowledge from this course, and may this knowledge benefits in our career, research, and future endeavors. I would like to share with you one famous authentic hadith narrated by Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings upon him, and said, whoever does not thank people has not thanked Allah Almighty. In conclude, committee members assist on technical issues that we faced during the sessions, like submitting the attendance and assignment. We were zero, okay? The committee members were excellent in handling all problems that we faced. We are so impressed with the assistance provided in WhatsApp group as well. And with a real-time support from all of you during the session, the interaction between the MC and the lecturers, moderators, and the participants was enhanced. I believe that this international summer course was one of the most effective online course that I had attended in the past. Thank you very much again for your outstanding professionalism. And I can say that all of your effort contributed to success of this course. By the cooperation, we smoothly complete our course today, alhamdulillah. And I'm looking forward to join other courses from University Prof. Dr. Hamka in the future. And Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you to Ms. Facility. Okay, maybe we want to know from another one. From Mr. Hazel Balakit from Philippines. Hello, Mr. Hazel. Are you with us? Hello, Mr. Hazel. Do you want to give us an impression about this agenda today? Oh, okay. Okay, Miss Hazel, maybe you can give us a little impression about our agenda from the day one until today.
So good day everyone. I'm Hazel Sibalakid, an economics student of Bukidnon State University, one of the prestigious university here in the Philippines. So to be part of this program, it's such a great opportunity for me to gain an excellent knowledge and experience in different brilliant speakers. So this international summer course program is such a huge, important, and effective ways to help the economy, particularly in our country, which is Philippines. Lastly, I would like to give my appreciation, my thank you International Summer Course, UHAMKA, to facilitate this program, and it's such a memorable and enjoyable experience. So thank you everyone, inshallah.
Okay, thank you to Miss Hazel for your sharing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind for all of the participants, the requirement for passing the course is to do an assignment by summarizing the material each day. Write your views on what is happening on your country. And don't forget to fill out the attendance list and post tests through the Learning Management System or LMS by following the instruction. I repeat once more, and don't forget to fill out the attendance list and post tests through the Learning Management System by following the instruction.
Finally, we get into the last session in this agenda, that is closing. There will be a closing statement from Dean of Economic and Business Faculty, University of Muhammadiyah Tangerang. To Dr. Hamdani, time and place are yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa na'udzu billahi min syururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala mudhillalah wa may yudlil fala hadiyalah. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh la nabiyya ba'da ma ba'du. Good afternoon and greeting to all of us. Let us say thank you to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for the blessing and guidance given us. So that today we are still given health to be able to take part in the closing of the International Summer Course today. Salawat and greeting we pray to our dear Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, dear Mr. Professor Gunawan Suryo Putro M.Hum, as Chancellor of UHAMKA and his team, to Mr. Dr. Haji Ahmad Almarhumah MPD as Chancellor of the Muhammadiyah University of Tangerang. With all due respect, we thank you for your presence. Hopefully, the collaboration between Muhammadiyah University of Tangerang and UHAMKA can continue. The green accounting application is a tangible manifestation of the responsibility of the business, what that must be considered as the triple bottom line, namely profit, people, and planet. Hopefully, this seminar can be useful and the participant can gain new insight. I would like to thank UHAMKA University, in particular the Dean of the UHAMKA, namely Dr. Jul Fahmi, and also thanks to all the participants who have participated in this summer course. Let's end today International Summer Course by saying Alhamdulillah. Nasrun minallah wa fathun qarib wa basyiril mu'minin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you to Dr. Hamdani for his speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, as master of ceremony, we apologize for the mistakes along this event. I am Nabila Anggita
And Sandra Rosali, thank you very much for your attentions. Have a good day and see you in the next International Summer Course. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Recording stopped.